Hi everyone, this is Nan. Welcome to our POTREX webinar. Basically, we're looking at a little bit of training for our clients and some of our friends today, and I'm really happy to see a lot of our regulars have shown up and come back for every opportunity, so that's really nice. Thank you. I want to ask that somebody type in the chat area that you can hear me. That's the only way that I can check and make sure that the audio is good. So if you don't mind, would somebody just chat that the audio is fine and you can hear me? Got it. Good. Thank you, everybody. We're ready to go now. Again, thanks for showing up today. As usual, we're going to try and keep this to about a half an hour if we can. I know that everybody is busy. So we want to give you as much information as we can, but not hold you up for too long. So the reason for today's webinar is that we've had a lot of our clients want to know more about exactly why we do what we do with your digital campaigns, and that's AdWords and Bing, and to some extent Facebook as well plays into this. And so we decided we'd go back and put together something that kind of explains what each of our strategies and techniques are as they appear to you when you're looking at your monthly budget or when you're considering changes that we're recommending to you. So I want to start with this slide. This is something that Google is sending around now, and a lot of you have probably seen it in one form or another. What it's telling us is that auto shoppers are researching more than ever. On average, there are 24 research touch points before someone purchases a vehicle. So this means that they're going to review sites, they're looking at your website, they're looking at the manufacturer website, they're going to YouTube and looking at videos, they're using their search engines, they're on social media. So 24 touch points of research before they ever speak to you. And of those 24, on average, 18 of those touch points are digital. So that kind of changes the picture for automotive dealers from what they saw even 5 or 6 years ago, where a lot of the information would be given to the buyer in the showroom. Now the buyer is showing up in the showroom with all of the information that they need, and the majority of the buying process is being done online before you ever even have an opportunity to meet that customer. A lot of their decision making has already been done, and they're walking into your showroom just to justify the purchase and then negotiate the deal. So where a few years back you had an opportunity to really steer the buyer through the buying process, now you have to find ways to do that online before you get to speak to them. So when we're talking to our clients, we talk about a lot of the different strategies that we use to do this. Search ads, of course, are a basis to everything that happens. We talk about dynamic search ads. You've heard of showroom conquesting and manufacturer conquesting. We use all different kinds of display retargeting, interest targeting, dynamic retargeting. We encourage the use of video, and we have just started addressing exit intent with great success. So we're going to talk about a lot of these different strategies, and if you're already a client with POTREX, you'll see that a lot of the phrases you're seeing right here appear on your monthly budget. So we're taking your monthly budget and strategically applying the money that you spend online to these strategies. The one thing to remember about using this kind of a strategy to reach your consumer is that we're not choosing where your ads show up. We're choosing who your ads show to. And that's a little bit of a leap from traditional media. In traditional media, you choose where the ad is going to go. You choose what TV stations, what time slots, which newspapers, which billboards. In digital, that can happen, but in general, we don't take that approach. We find ways to find the person at the particular stage of the buying cycle and show them the right message at that time. So what we're seeing here is the buying cycle for an automotive prospect. So we start up at the top, and the prospect doesn't even know that you exist. So in their mind, At this point, they are saying, I'm researching options to fill a need. They may not even know that they are in market for a new car at this point. They may be deciding whether or not they need service, whether they should be buying a new car or a used car, whether they want to make a purchase for a young adult child. So they're looking at their options. They have a need, and they're looking for a way to fill that need. Coming down the funnel, the prospect has visited your site or knows who you are, but they really don't care about you yet. They have no attachment to you. So in their mind, I'm more interested in the product right now than I am the dealer. And that's legitimate. Coming down further, the prospect might consider what you have to say. So now they've done a little bit of research, and they're getting closer to building a relationship somewhere. People want to buy from people. So at this point in the process, they are looking for a few reasons to justify this purchase, not only what they purchased, but from whom they purchased it. Coming down a little further, they're going to start comparing you to your competitors. Why should they buy their car from you? And at the end of the cycle, the prospect chooses to purchase. They're ready to make a commitment. Now is your last chance to make sure that that commitment is to you. So we're going to go through our strategies in this order and see how they apply to this buying funnel. Keep in mind that I've oversimplified this quite a bit, so I'm applying strategies to a single layer of this buying funnel. People move back and forth up and down this funnel through the process. Sometimes they drop out completely from in the middle and come back in a little higher up and work their way down again. And some of the strategies that we use apply to more than one of these layers of the buying funnel, but for the purpose of simplification, I've kind of just separated them out so I can explain each one and where it serves its initial and most important purpose. So first we're going to look at prospect doesn't know you exist. What do we do about that? Well, we can't use retargeting at this point. As you know, people come to your site, pick up some code, and then we can retarget them. But we can use interest targeting. Interest targeting means that if somebody is on a search engine like Google, Google watches what the prospect does and starts building a profile. And if you go to google.com/ads/preferences, you can see exactly what Google thinks about you. So Google has this profile of everyone who uses that search engine. So now I can say, okay, I would like to show these ads to everyone whose profile says that they are interested in automotive shopping. Or some of the other options are, I'd like to show these ads to everyone who has shown that they are interested in a Toyota or an SUV or a gas-efficient car. So there's a lot of different ways that Google sort of watches the behavior and applies a label to what that person is interested in based on their digital body language. So we can use that information to start addressing people with display ads who may not even know who you are yet. So we don't have to wait for that retargeting opportunity, to kick in. We can start talking to them much earlier than that. In our search campaigns at this point, we are answering direct response to general questions. So they aren't asking about specific cars yet. They're still trying to decide what the answer is to their need. So they may be asking, why is my check engine light on? They may be asking, what kind of car should I buy? These are some of the most common searches for new car buyers. Should I buy new or used? Should I lease? So we need to address their questions with direct answers. So to illustrate some of that, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have information on your website that addresses those questions. So why is my check engine light on? We need good, solid content for people to come to. So some of this may be your paid advertising. Some of this may be your organic listings when people search for this kind of information. Getting them to this page where they're getting the answers that they need. They're not looking for you yet. They're looking for justifications. They're looking for some help in deciding what their solution is going to be. So we bring them to this page. Here is the information that they're looking for at the moment. But then on this page, we also have opportunities for them to push them through the buying cycle. So we're going to get to the next logical step. So if somebody is checking here because their check engine light is on, we might want to offer them a free diagnostic test. So they come in, free diagnostic test. If that's a $2,000 repair, now you have them there for the conversation of, are we making this repair, or are we looking at maybe moving into a purchase? Maybe they're already pretty sure they don't want to sink any more money into that car, even though their check engine light came on again. So we have some other opportunities here. Do you want to know what your car is worth? Because you might want to trade that in. Or do you want to check on your financing and see what your pre-approval process would look like? So we've got some opportunities here for that very, very early in the buying cycle. We're bringing them in for what they want, which is the information in the text, and then we're showing them what we want them to do next: value your trade, get pre-approved, or come on in and let us talk. You're also at this point going to be showing introductory interest ads. So we know they're interested in vehicles. So maybe we just let them know that we have, come see that our name means a great deal. So just getting them accustomed to seeing our name. Let them know that we have a sales event going on right now. That's quite an incentive to think a little more quickly about the process. Down here, your lifestyle, your vehicle, what kind of car are you, or what kind of driver are you? People love taking those quizzes and seeing, you know, what were you in your past life and things like that. Bring them to a page where they can really start looking at what it's going to take to make a decision on what type of a car they should buy. Also, if interest says that they're interested in sedans and family vehicles, let them know that you've got information about the new 2015 Toyota. See what's new. They're doing research right now. They're looking around. Maybe we want to bring them in and get them familiar with what's new on the lot. We're coming on to the next level. And this is, the prospect knows about you, but they don't really care about you yet. So maybe they've been to your website, maybe they've looked around a little bit, and you know, they're just still visiting lots and lots of websites, gathering some information. So now we can start to retarget because we're segmenting our list and we're looking at exactly what page they're looking at on the website. So if they're looking at new vehicles, we're going to send different types of ads to them than if they're looking at used vehicles or if they're looking at service. And again, we want to make sure that our search ads meet this need at this point. So we're going to be doing vehicle comparison, trim level comparison, direct response to the questions that they're asking when they're in this phase of the buying cycle. So here's the retargeting that we're going to show. This is next logical step retargeting. They've come to the website, they've looked at some brand new cars, they're making some decisions about, do I want to go this path? Well, now again, we can drive them a little further down. What's new with the new 2015 Toyota Camry works here as well, but then so do these types of ads where we're saying, okay, we know you're looking, you're going to need to do these things as well. So why don't we get you back to our site? You can calculate your payment anywhere, but we don't want you to go to bankrate.com. We want you to come back to our site and see all of the things that we have to offer. We're a dependable dealership. We have a lot of opportunities here to work with you. So look and see what it is we have to offer. I think we can start building a relationship through some of these things. Before we go on to the next one, I want to do a real quick poll. First question in our poll is, what is your balance with your, are you using both digital and traditional marketing? So vote for which one seems most like what you're doing right now, and let's see what everybody's doing. Okay, so right now it looks, we've got a few more votes coming in. So right now we've got 50% doing mostly digital, or it's switching again. I'm going to close the poll so I can read the numbers. We've got 46% doing mostly digital, 15% doing mostly traditional, 8% doing all digital, and 31% are doing about 50-50. And that's about what we're seeing right now among our clients. Among our clients, we might be a little more heavy in the digital than the traditional than we're seeing here right now. But yeah, that's about common for what's going on around the country. Okay, so let's move into the buying cycle again. Somehow I got pushed all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so now we're up to the prospect is ready to consider what you have to say. So they've looked around a little bit, they've got some information, they feel confident enough in what they know to maybe start having a conversation and maybe start building that relationship a little bit. So at this point, we can start a little bit of in-market targeting. So in-market targeting is a little different than interest targeting. In-market targeting means we have watched their behavior. We can see that they are looking at a lot of different types of information about automotive purchasing, but it's end of the funnel information. So they're looking at vehicle reviews, they're looking at VDPs, they're looking at finance information. So this is showing us, their behavior is showing us that they are deep in the funnel and they're ready for some good, solid information that's going to give them a relationship with us and the information that they need in order to build that trust. So one of the tools that's really good here also, along with our in-market targeting with display ads, is video. So let's talk a little bit about these techniques. At this point, this is where we want to start showing incentives and unique selling proposition. Now they're ready for the really meaty information that is going to let them know that we've got what they need to really move forward with this decision. So our USP, our unique selling proposition, is our why buy statement. So why buy statements have tangible value and let people know that there's something more to their purchase if they purchase with you than if they purchase with the guy down the street. So we want to make sure that it is something like extended service, lifetime guarantees, lifetime oil changes. There's a lot of different things that you can put out there as your unique selling proposition, but it does need to be of tangible value. Another thing that's really, really important to buyers is selection. So great selection of cars over 30 miles per gallon. So if we've seen from their in-market behavior that they're in market for a fuel-efficient car, then we want to start showing them this type of an ad. Yes, we've got fuel-efficient cars, but we've got 120 on the lot, or whatever we have. So that kind of information is really, really good at this point to make you stronger in their mind than your competitor. Another thing that is really important at this point is incentive. You want to tell them what the price is. They may have seen that, you know, the MSRP is about the same everywhere they go, but knowing what your actual payment is going to be, or knowing that there is a finance incentive available, this is the point in the process where that's important to them. Earlier on in the process, they hadn't justified the purchase. They didn't really know what they wanted. Now is the time to start giving them this kind of information. This is what's going to help them say, yes, I can afford that payment, or 0% financing, and that's only good until November 14th. I'm going to take advantage of that now, because this is a good time for me to finance. So we want to make sure that we have those types of ads going out to people at this point in the buying cycle. For video, video important at this point. People are making a decision, so they want to watch walkarounds. If your dealership isn't doing walkarounds now, absolutely do them. The videos that you can purchase online that are the slideshows that make a video out of still photos, Those are very nice, but people don't engage in those as much. The walk-around videos are really, really good for people this close to the purchase. And one of the examples I use very often is, you know, if you are a sportsman, if you're a fisherman, and you're considering buying a new boat, and you're down between the last 2 or 3 before you're making a decision. You're hung up between 2 or 3, and you find a video out there that's 15 minutes long that shows you every feature of that boat. You're going to watch that entire video. And while you're watching that video, not only are you getting very attached to that particular product, you're getting attached to that expert, that authority that's telling you about that product. If you know that you can get in your car and go and speak to the person that just did that video, and you know that they know everything there is to know about that boat, you're much more likely to go and buy personally from that individual than to, you know, hope to save a couple $100 at the competitor down the road. So the walk-around videos are really important at this stage of the buying cycle. The longer, the better. If you can get them to be 15 minutes long, absolutely do it. You know, show how easy it is to get the car seat in and out of the car. Show how easy it is to put the golf clubs in and still have enough room left for your kids' sporting equipment. So keep props around the dealership for when you do these walk-arounds. The next opportunity with video is video pre-roll. Video pre-roll is hot right now. Not a lot of competition for it in the automotive industry. And again, we're sending these ads not to appear in certain places, but to appear to certain people. So we're sending these ads, these video pre-rolls, to appear to people who are in market to purchase a car. They're at that right point in the buying cycle. So it doesn't matter what video they show up in front of. It's the person that's seeing the ad that's important, and that's very powerful. Not a lot of competition in the automotive circles right now, which is great. So we're seeing cost per view on this type of video under 20 cents in many cases. So very affordable, but it's nice too because people are in front of their computer or they're on their phone, they're in a relaxed mode, they're watching videos, either they're cruising the news sites and watching news videos, or they're on YouTube watching entertainment videos. They're not going to walk away. So it's not like a TV commercial where, A, you're just sending it out to everybody who might turn on that channel. Here you're just sending it out to people interested in a vehicle, so they're more likely to watch it. And B, you're giving them the opportunity to watch the entire video, or if they're not interested, they can click out and that costs you nothing. So video pre-roll is very powerful, great way to start that introduction, get to meet, let your prospect get to meet you, know more about your dealership, include images of the people from your dealership in this video. We encourage our clients all to have a spokesperson for the dealership. So really start making that relationship sound at this point. And then video greetings. This is one of my favorite. We're at the point in the buying cycle now where you may start getting email leads from potential clients, potential customers. If your prospect sends you an email lead and asks a specific question about a car, grab your cell phone, grab a buddy, get out to the lot, stand in front of the car that they're asking about and say, "Thanks so much for your inquiry. I'm attaching this to the email that has the answer to your question. Here's the car you were asking about. Come on, give me a call. Let's go for a test drive. Looking forward to hearing from you." Go ahead and ask for the test drive. Ask for the appointment right in that little greeting. And it only needs to be a few seconds long. It does not need to be long and involved, but you're getting introduced now. So this is digital between you and the client. This isn't digital out on the internet, but you're responding to an email with a digital greeting that introduces you, shows them that the car is available. These are very powerful, and they do get a really good response. Before we go on to the next one, I want to throw up one more poll question. We're asking, do you know who your top competitors are? Are they other dealers of the same brand? Are they other dealers selling competitive brands? Or are they used car independents? Okay, so we've got some pretty interesting responses here. For the most part, it looks like we're other dealers selling competitive brands. And that's really good to know, especially at this point in the buying cycle. We're also very heavy with other dealers selling the same brand, but it's those competitive brands that are so hard to bring that customer in. So what we do know is that there's a lot of cross-shopping out there. People more at all levels of the automotive purchase, there's a lot of cross-shopping. For the mainline brands, luxury brands especially, it's something like 72% of people searching for a luxury brand move to a different manufacturer than they thought they were going to buy when they got started. But almost everybody cross-shops. So we want to know what to do when your prospect is comparing you to competitors. So we've got a lot of solutions to that. I think almost all of our clients are using dynamic search ads. We'll talk about that a little bit. Showroom conquesting. So this is a tactic where you've all seen your clients in your showroom with their cell phone looking for information while they're in your showroom. And you know they're looking at your competitor's inventory. And then we have manufacturer conquesting too. What do we do about getting people to consider our car instead of the one that they're thinking of buying from our competitor down the street? So dynamic search ads are great because when people are cross-shopping, if they're looking for a specific car that they found at another dealership and they're Googling to see if they can find it again somewhere else and you have it, your car can show up in the ad results immediately, exactly what they're looking for. So if somebody is searching, in this case, we've got someone searching for a 2011 white Toyota Camry. So if you're not familiar with dynamic search, the way it works is that we make sure that Google is indexing the pages on your website very efficiently, and then when somebody makes that search, Google knows what's on those pages. We don't actually write a headline for the ad or tell the ad where to click to. We don't say what page it goes to. Google matches the search with the contents of the page, writes a headline, and then sends them exactly to that VDP. So these are incredibly effective, especially when they're in this stage of the purchase where they're looking back and forth between dealers trying to find exactly what they're looking for. The next tactic is showroom conquesting. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. One of the ways that we can do it is to determine where the competitors are, and if they're on their phone and they come to your site while they're in a competitor's showroom, we can show them a pop-up window that says, basically, we know you're shopping right now. We know that you are exactly 1.6 miles away. Come to our showroom, show this ad for a $500 down payment assistance, something to that effect. So that's one way we can use it. If we want to catch them before they've gone to our site or someone else's site, in case we think they might not come to our site, we can draw a tight little radius around the competitor's showroom, and then when they search for the typical keywords that people search for from when they're in a showroom, we can show them ads that say, okay, you want the best price on that Toyota Tacoma you just searched for? Save on it with our competitor pricing. Shop here. So we can present them with a message that says, yes, we know that you're searching for that right now. We know you're in market and you're searching price. So you really need to consider what we have to offer. So that's two different ways that we can use showroom conquesting at this, as we're getting really down deep into the buying cycle. And the last one is manufacturer conquesting. People are out getting information about the vehicles that are very much like the ones that you're selling, but they're a different manufacturer. And so what we do in those cases is it's called contextual targeting. And we actually look at what's on the pages that they're looking at, and we look for cues. So if we are looking to push the Tundra, We might say, okay, I want to watch cues that say that this person is looking at a Silverado. And if this person is looking at a Silverado, I want them to see this ad that says, we've got the Tundra, and it starts at this very reasonable entry point. So we're getting their attention away from what they're already looking at over to our competitive brand here. We've got the RAV4, spend less, brag more. So if they're looking at a competitive model from another manufacturer, we can send them this message that says, now we want you to come back here and look at what you could be getting for that amount of money. And again, this is a great place for the your lifestyle, your vehicle kind of an ad. So they're out doing their research. Maybe they haven't made their decision yet. They're looking at something that you compete with very heavily. Show them this ad, get them to your website. And now they're going to pick up your retargeting code, and you can retarget them again from this point. And that's something that is nice about all of these techniques. You know, we use retargeting differently at the different phases of the buying cycle. If we can get them to pick up that retargeting code, we can keep talking to them right up until the purchase with a changing message. Now we're at the point where the prospect chooses to purchase. And so this is the point of no return. One thing that we need to remember is that most prospects will visit 5 dealer websites, but only on average 1.2 showrooms. So once they get to this point, their minds are pretty well made up. They're not going to be going showroom to showroom to showroom. So hopefully by the time we're here, you have convinced them that you are the dealership from whom they should buy. The other thing that is difficult at this point is that they truly are not likely to call they're not likely to call or fill out a form. Only 20% of the people who walk into your showroom will have called or filled out a form. 80% of the walk-ins went through this entire process, saw these ads, read these landing pages, clicked on the different ads that we wanted them to click on. They experienced everything we just talked about, but they're not going to fill out a form or call. They're going to walk in. So we want to make sure at this point that we've done everything in our power to get the lead if we can. Getting that lead, as I say, are about 20%. So we want that walk-in. We're doing everything we can to get that walk-in. And this is just the silent 80% is what they're called in the marketing industry. The silent 80% do everything we want them to do. They take the benefit of everything that we've done so far, and we have no control at that point. If we can't get them to take that action, that online or telephone action, we can't track them, but we haven't lost them because most likely they will be a walk-in if we've done it correctly. One thing that we're working with now, and if you're a current client, you've probably seen this already, but we are working with a product that we developed recently called Exit Gadget. And this started as just a clever idea that took off. The response that we're getting from this and the results that we're getting from this are great. So we're at that very end of the buying cycle. They've been to the website, and as they are leaving the website, we're tracking their exit intent. So it's not like they've clicked on the page to say, I want to get out of here. Before they even get a chance to click on the page, just before they leave the page, we're watching how their mouse is moving, where on the page they're hovering, the speed of their movements. Different things feed into an algorithm that chooses the right moment to show this offer. So just as they're about to leave the site, we say, you qualify for a down payment assistance voucher of $500. Yes, I want my voucher, or no thanks. And there's a lot of different messages that are available for this. This just happens to be the one that I chose for this, but we've got a lot of different incentives that can be offered. So then when they click, yeah, I want $500, sure. Not only do we collect all of their lead information, but down here where it says I am, We collect where they are in the buying cycle. I'm just browsing. I'm ready to buy. I'm choosing which vehicle. So we've got a lot of choices, so you know exactly where they are in the buying cycle. When they fill out this form, you're sending them that $500 down payment voucher right away, but now you can call them up and say, hey, I know you have that $500 voucher in your hand. Thanks so much for being at our website. What can I help you with now at this point in the cycle? Do you need help with your financing? Is there a car that you would like to specifically test drive? So you can make that connection at this point, and the closing ratios on these are great. I've got just a little bit of data here on that. So what we're looking at here is I've blocked out the name of the client, but this is a client that had Exit Gadget running on their site for 4 days here. We launched it on November 7th, and we took this report on November 11th. They've gotten 30 leads from 651 page views. That's a 4.6% conversion rate, which is way better than most websites convert. 4.6% conversion rate is astounding. So we're seeing a huge amount of success from this, and it is that one last opportunity to get that lead and get them to walk into your showroom instead of walking into the competitor showroom down the street. So those are my techniques that we generally show you on your monthly budgets, and just the strategies that our performance managers offer you. So at this point, I'd like to take any questions that you have and see what else you're interested in knowing. So it says, how do you determine that the viewer is an in-market shopper when using video pre-roll? And this is exactly as we described for display ads. It's really no different. They exhibit certain behaviors online, and it doesn't matter whether that behavior was exhibited while they were in a video environment or just in general in the internet environment. So the same information that leads us to believe they are in market if they're cruising, if we're showing them display ads, we can use that for video ads as well. I have an FYI about our dynamic ad program, and that's something that I didn't talk about too much, but we are just getting started with dynamic retargeting, and I love this technique. If somebody has been to your website and they've looked at 3 or 4 different vehicles, we can retarget them with a dynamic ad that shows them those specific vehicles with payment, with price point, with what information we want, so that they're seeing the cars they already looked at, and not just one car, but 3 or 4. It will also show them, because we have triggers in there that say, okay, this car is very similar in type to this car. They might be interested in this one also. We can show them those similar cars at the same time. Let's see, we have from the time a consumer comes up with the idea that they need a car to the time that they walk into the showroom is how long? That's a really good question, and it's a huge variety to the answer of that. In general, you will see an average of 90 to 130 days. That's an average. But people fall in and out of this buying cycle. They'll get to a certain point, and it's, you know, it's not an absolutely urgent purchase. They'll get a little tired, they'll back away, they'll take care of the holidays or something, and then they'll come back into the buying cycle. So we know what the average is, but every individual is a little bit different. And it also depends on if it's an urgent purchase. I once had to purchase a car in 2 days. I was driving home from work in a car that I had loved for 11 years, and it just decided to stop working in the middle of the bridge. Needed to have a car by Monday morning to get back to work again. So that buying cycle was very short. So it's an average of 90 to 130 days, but it can be it can be anything from 2 days to 6 months. Should video pre-roll be produced and shot at the dealership? No. Video walk-around, absolutely. The video email response videos, absolutely. Video pre-roll needs to be of a little bit higher production value. It's not the same as a TV commercial in that the messaging needs to be a little bit different and the way it needs to be a little more personal than a TV commercial, but the expectation really is that this is produced at a commercial quality level. So video pre-roll, not at the dealership. Other types of video, absolutely. How often should we be monitoring our impression share? That's a really good question. Now, impression share means that for every 100 times you are eligible to show up in a search, how many times do you show up? Now, and it's very closely related to your budget. So if your budget says, I can spend $100 today, and clicks average $2 for you, Google's going to do the math and say, okay, that means you can afford 50 clicks, but we expect about 400 searches today that you'll be eligible for. So you're only going to show up 1 out of every 8 times. So that's your impression share, is 12.5%, 1 out of every 8 times. You should monitor your impression share every time you change your strategy. So if that means you are changing the geographic radius in which you're showing your ads, now you're eligible for fewer searches because it's a smaller area, so you're not looking at as many people. So your impression share is going to go up. If you leave that radius alone but raise your budget, now you're eligible for more impressions. Your impression share is going to go up. So you should monitor your impression share every time you change your strategy. See, should the response video on a particular lead be attached and sent back to the customer through a CRM? So I think what we're asking, I talked about the response video. Somebody is asking about a particular vehicle. You run out to the lot. You take a little video that says, here's the car. Here's the answer to your question. Let's make the appointment. Excuse me. The easiest way to do that is if you are getting your leads by email on your phone, you can answer the lead from your phone with that video that you just shot. That's the simplest way to do that. As far as uploading them into a CRM, I know that there's some CRMs that say that you can put a video signature on your emails. I don't think those are effective as those immediate responses to the question that's just been asked. We track third-party lead providers' ROI. If we subscribe to Exit Gadget, is it available for us to see ROI in our CRM tool? And every CRM is a little bit different, so I'm not sure how that would register in your CRM. I think that that would have to be a case-by-case answer for that question. I'm not really certain how that would register. The leads will show up in your CRM, but as far as tracking them back to Exit Gadget itself rather than as a website lead, I'm not certain, but I can get back to you on that. Should video pre-roll the staff in the sales consultant? So pre-roll, I would say stick with the spokesperson if possible, because if you have that spokesperson in all of your communication all the way through the buying cycle, then you are getting the prospect accustomed to seeing them in all of these different strategies. So consistency in your brand is really important. So I would keep the spokesperson in your video pre-roll. What is an effective way to evaluate a third-party lead provider? Call me. Let me make sure that I've got the slide up with my phone number on it. The best way to evaluate a third-party lead provider is do a lead evaluation report, and we go through and we see what you're spending for your leads, how many leads you're getting, what the value of the leads, the closing ratios, and we can actually come up with some pretty good recommendations and some baselines for what you ought to be expecting from those leads. Let's see if I missed anything here. I think that's all we've got for questions now. Does anybody have any additional questions they'd like to ask? All right, well, I want to thank everybody so much for your time today. I know how valuable your time is, and I appreciate you spending some of it with me. Our next webinar is going to be on January 7th, and at that time we're going to be talking about how to answer some of the email leads that you get through your internet department. What is the right response for specific questions? So we're doing just a little bit of internet training next time. So that will be January 7th, and Brian Hart from our new business department will be joining me on that one. So thank you, everybody. Take care, and it was nice to spend some time with you.